everyone. So we are back for the replay and actually the retake of Relentless Talk Radio. This episode 24, segment 1 with Jean Gribbon. She is the executive director and the founder of an organization called Beads of Courage. We actually tried to shoot this video on Monday, but we had some technical difficulties with BeLive. And this looks like it's working out. So I'm like super excited because we've had like 4 false starts. So Jean, tell your name and stuff, but tell everybody who you are and what the organization is that you work with.
So I'm Jean Gribbon. I'm the executive director of Beads of Courage. And my background, I'm a pediatric oncology nurse and started the organization back in 2003 in a quest to help kids coping with serious illness.
So we were interviewing Becca, who's, by the way, really good partnership. Is Becca an employee or did you hire her organization?
Yes, Becca works for Beads of Courage. She's our director of marketing and communications. And yep, she does an amazing job.
She actually won me over because you guys were on the waiting list, but she was so diligent that when I had an organization have to cancel on Tuesday, you guys were my first call. So
that's great.
She was so diligent and so persistent. I thought I'm so happy. I absolutely must include them. So you were like, they had like 6 spots that I'm kind of on the fence on, and so I'm kind of waiting, and you were like part of that list. I thought she just tipped you over the edge. So
yay on thanks, that hire. Becca, and thank you.
Yay, Becca, right? The yay on that hire. And so she sent me over your bio today, and I read it, and I was like, wow, I like this chick. So you were getting your doctorate in nursing at the University of Arizona College of Nursing when you came up with an idea that is just fantastic. I love it because it's creative and it's caring and it's just so thoughtful, and it includes art, so I love it even more. But you were working in a program called the Paul Newman's Hole in Wall Camp. So tell me about that.
Yeah, it's, I always tell people innovation, you have to create space for curiosity, really, to get the best of you, right?
Right.
And I was working as a camp nurse at one of Paul Newman's camps. It happened to be in Ireland, lucky me. And it was while working as a camp nurse there that I made the observation of how much the kids loved the beading activities. Out of all the things that they could do at this amazing therapeutic recreation camp, the kids would make things in the arts and craft rotation, wear them throughout camp, and year after year, because I worked there for 4 summers, kids would come back literally wearing the same beads, necklace, bracelet that they made in camp the previous year.
So I love this. So Paul Newman has all those products that he sells that goes directly to children. And one of the charities that Paul Newman, who I love his salad dressing, by the way, his balsamic salad dressing is a bomb, okay? So this movie star, which is art, made money in theater and became a famous celebrity and created a nonprofit that made the money for the camp that you went to and served children and got the idea for another nonprofit.
Yes. Yep. Exactly.
I love that. That's just the best when that happens. Yeah. Did you ever get to meet him?
I missed him every time at camp. The 4 summers I was there, he either came the week before or the week after, but he did visit all the camps. And he's left an amazing legacy with his therapeutic recreation camps. There's several camps in the United States as well.
See, I just got a full body chill on that one because that to me is capitalism working at its finest. It's like a crap ton of money in the movies, which is I just went to the movies this weekend and saw Rocket Man. Have you seen that with Elton John? Fantastic. You have to go see it. It's like bar none one of the best movies I've seen. I won't even tell you too much about it. It was awesome. But I just love that. So then that was in what year? When did you go do that?
Gosh, my oldest son is 16 years old now, so it's over 16 years ago.
So then
even longer than that. Yeah.
It kind of percolated in your brain for a bit, right? And then you decided to start to put legs on it in 2003 at the Phoenix Children's Hospital, which I can see out my window, by the way.
Oh, wow. That's great. Yeah. That was our first hospital. Yeah. The first thing I did, I didn't even, curiosity, I just Googled beads and humans. What are beads? Why do humans even care about beads? And knowing that you're passionate about the arts, beads are the earliest art form known to humans. Literally before we were painting on cave walls, humans were finding a way to adorn ourselves with these small perforated objects. And beads have always been used as symbols of honor and accomplishment in many cultures throughout the world.
Well, I mean, Pandora is a perfect example of a bead company. I mean, they've made like
Yeah.
bazillions, right,
Yeah.
on beads. And, do you know Kay McDonald?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So Kay, that's
Mm-hmm.
awesome. So Kay McDonald will be making a charm for us. She's already made me a charm for my company, but she's partnering, and she's one of the people that's helping to choose the 3 charities, as a matter of fact.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, we made a charm as well.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Yay, cool.
Yeah.
So it's still working, and I love this. You focus on the science of caring.
Yeah.
That just makes my whole heart sing. I mean, that's so awesome. You focus on the science and the research behind the science of caring. That's awesome. And do you use Beads of Courage as kind of like anything to do with your research at all?
Oh yeah, of course. Beads of Courage, we implement our programming in 240 children's hospitals in 8 countries. And when you distill that down, what that means is we're really changing the way that frontline nurse practices her caring, and that every time that nurse is giving blood, for example, they're handing a child a red bead that symbolizes that blood transfusion. Anytime that nurse is giving chemotherapy, he or she is giving a white bead for chemotherapy. And so that embodied action of the bead giving at the bedside becomes this caring transaction that informs the child that in addition to the courage that you must muster every day, I'm taking the time to pause and give reverence for your life and acknowledge you by giving you this bead. So on the surface, it seems like it's an arts and craft, but it's much deeper than that with regards to just caring overall and that exchange of human caring and recognition and recognizing the kids in the moments of courage with every bead that they get.
I just love that. I mean, I really do love the idea of. For me, I don't buy jewelry that doesn't have an emotional. For example, I have my mom's clatter. My mom went to Ireland when I was 16 and got this clatter ring. Can you see it? It's up here.
Oh yeah, I love it.
And and she brought it home to me, and I'm wearing it today.
Oh, and that's great.
I think that jewelry that has an emotional charge to it is super powerful. And I love that you have. My dad has lymphoma, so every time he goes in for a bone marrow test or something, he's been through so many tests, and I think it's interesting that each bead is something different that a child has gone through.
Yes. There's 18 different beads that we give that serve as a visual, tangible acknowledgement of their journey. And
so how do you make those beads? Like, are they're
so
glass, right?
All the beads we use in our program are glass. The core program beads that we use, the colorful beads that we use, are manufactured for our organization. We simply couldn't keep up with the pace of our program outreach if they weren't. For example, last year we distributed 100 million beads to kids all over the world. To put it into perspective. Yeah.
So you probably started out in your video, you show artists actually making the beads. And glass art is like glass art's an amazing thing to watch because it's science, it's art, and it's heat. It's just the coolest thing. I mean, I just think glass artists are their own special breed. So you started out only with artists making them, right? But now do artists design them and then you have them manufactured? How does that work?
No, so the core beads are manufactured, but we still use artist beads, and we need artist beads. If there's anything that you could do to help us get awareness around our organization, is we do ask for and we really need handmade glass beads donated on a regular basis. Those beads are very special beads in the Beads of Courage program. They're given for treatment-related milestones. So on a day when a nurse recognizes, oh, wow, this is a really tough day, we need to give you what we call an act of courage bead. And I'll be honest, a lot of times those are the things that nobody really wants to talk about in the treatment journey. Some of the more challenging clinical outcomes that could happen to a child receiving treatment for cancer, a child that we're supporting that has a congenital heart defect. So the act of courage bead continues and always will be handmade glass beads. And so glass bead artists from around the world annually donate on average 70,000 beads to our organization, that our volunteers in Tucson, which is where we're headquartered, will then individually package those. It's a labor of love. And then we distribute those randomly to children that are receiving the Beads of Courage program at any children's hospital that has our programming.
I'm just so flippin' proud of you. I mean, it's just really awesome. And I'm proud of all those volunteers and all those artists that are stepping up. I mean, that's an amazing thing. I mean, my work, it's an amazing thing when an artist connects their heart to their work in a way like that. That's really what my entire project is about. Is really all the art that I do is all about connecting my heart to philanthropy and my business skills to business in a collective way, you know? So that's super cool.
Yeah,
so
thank you for that. Yeah.
What kind of feedback do you get from the kids and the families like about the beads?
Well, you know, not to sound cliche, but follow us on Facebook every single day.
We are on Facebook, so just click on it and go there. Do me a favor. There's in the comments for this, Beads of Courage is linked, so people can just click on that. But also, could you do me a favor when we're done with the video, before I forget, and put links to some of the videos that I watched, because they're fantastic. Good for you. Money well spent. Really.
There's some great videos that actual Beads of Courage members have produced on their own on YouTube to share their story and their Beads of Courage. And probably the video that you're referencing is we were featured on CBS Sunday Morning in 2010, which was really in the very beginning phases of our growth and outreach to helping kids. At that time, I think we were in 60 hospitals, and now we're in 240. So knowing that you're a businesswoman and supporting the arts and philanthropy, I think you can appreciate the tremendous growth curve we've been on, which, you know,
it's no sleep for you.
I know. I tell people, like, I wish I didn't need sleep, because I love to just keep working all day.
It's such a waste of time. I know. I say that all the time. Like, there's 24 hours a day, and I have to work out and sleep and pray, and then everything else is just, I got to fit my social life in there, my, people, important people in there, but it's just incredible, right? So you support the arts, and there's some other things that you're doing with the arts too, right? Other than the beads.
Oh yeah. We are so fortunate, our organization, and that we get donations of original art on a daily basis that we then have the privilege and honor of giving to children and their families throughout the United States. So for example, we get the glass beads donated from artists. In the last 4 years, we've also been endorsed by what's known as the American Association of Woodturners. So woodturners from around the United States have been donating these beautiful hand-turned wooden vessels that we then can give to children and families. They're simply gorgeous, beautiful pieces of art. And, we tell the children and families, like, look at this as a sacred vessel that you can keep some of your favorite beads in, you can keep your entire bead collection in, or just the joy you experience when you hold original art in your hands. So we're really grateful for the American Association of Woodturners and, of course, the International Society of Glass Bead Makers. We also receive handmade sewn bead bags from sewing groups from all over the United States. And these bead bags, for me, is part of Americana art history, in that, we all know about the quilters. I'm sure all of us have a quilt.
Do you know about organizations here called Fabric here in Phoenix? Do you know?
I'm not aware of them.
I'm gonna introduce you to them. It's a clothing manufacturing plant here that does small lines of clothing, but they have all kinds of educational stuff. I'm going to be doing a fashion line next year, and I'll be manufacturing it at Fabric. And so it's all about fashion and fabric, So I will introduce Angela Johnson and Sherry Berry, the co-founders of Fabric, and I'm sure they're sustainable. So they have a bunch of artists that are always taking scraps. They have 300 designers that design from that space. Yeah. And they take the scraps and they give it to artists to create a line of a fashion line called Refabricate.
Oh, that's great.
I'm going to introduce the three of you. I'm sure there's some synergistic something you can do together.
Yeah.
So how do kids find out, like if there's 240 hospitals. So if a child is in those hospitals, they're going to know about what you're doing. But what if they're in one of the other hospitals? Can their parents like write to you, or is there any other way for them to?
Oh, yes. If the Beads of Courage program is not provided in their hospital, they can email us, and what we do is enroll them in our Beads in the Mail program. So from Tucson, we have a team of amazing volunteers. Jan leads up that team. She's a very dedicated volunteer, and we mail beads to over 2,000 kids. So their family is given kind of a backside portal to place their bead order and kind of keep us informed of what's happening with them. And then Jan and our team of volunteers pack those beads up and mail the beads to them. So it's a really powerful program, because I don't know about you or I, but I rarely get anything fun in the mail unless I order it myself. So it's a labor of love for them to receive those in the mail.
So tip your camera down a little bit so we can see your face more up this way. There, a little more, same way, other way. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Yeah, there you go. Cool, awesome. So I want to thank you for your time today. And so this interview will become a YouTube. It's also will become a podcast. And what we're doing with this particular project is for the people that are watching this video for the first time, is that I'm interviewing 13 nonprofits, and I'll be narrowing it down to 3 and then to 1 nonprofit that I'm focusing on for my Art of Fearlessly Giving Back series this year. And what I do is I tell the story of the nonprofit and 13 of their donors. And when I say donors, the folks that we're telling the story of are either someone that's already given to your organization or a prospective donor that you would like to give to your organization. But they're donors because they're gifting your time. So a donor can be somebody who gives time, talent, or treasure, right? So in this case, they're gifting time and their story. And so the interview that is of the leader in your organization and the interview that's of the entrepreneur or the donor will inspire a blog where I'll give 5 key takeaways. And those 2 interviews and the 1 blog inspire a painting, an example of which is behind me. And so how I'm choosing the charity is based on some criteria. And one of them is interest and the ability for the charity to drum up some business for themselves on social media. So definitely share this video, have your friends share this video. And so the worst that will happen from them sharing the video is that you'll get your message out there, whoa, right? And the best that would happen in this particular case is that you would be the charity that I focus on. Now, my goal, I have a big, hairy, audacious goal for this project. My goal is to write the charity that I focus on $1 million check. That's the ultimate goal. I just had the opportunity to set that goal this year. So I'd be really flippin' thrilled to write $1 million check this year. Wouldn't that be fun?
Oh, wow. It'd be amazing.
So the more we participate on social media collectively, the more people hear about the project. When we have the auction on December 6th, and if it's at your organization, it'll be in Tucson. We will find a place to do the auction in Tucson, but the auction is going to be online. So we actually could find, and when you really think about it, there'll be 15 paintings and 15 collective stories. Those paintings, if they were to auction for $77,000 more than the ask, which is possible. I mean, we can find 15 people in the world who have 77 grand, right? That would enable me to write you $1 million check. So the more people know about the project, the more we can drum up business for the auction, the more money we can make for the charity, the more beads we can buy, the more kids we can make smile.
That's great. Wonderful.
So that's
thank you.
To it. Do you have anything else that you want to tell folks before we sign off?
Just thank you so much, and know that every bead we give tells a dose of narrative medicine. Helps them tell their story.
That's so awesome. I love that. Well, thank you very much, Jean, for your service.
Thanks so much.
Take care.
Thank you. Bye.